Hello and welcome to the 2023 Portland Open presented by Latitude 64. It is stop number 7 of the Disc Golf Pro Tour out of 15. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
And I'm Rebecca Cox.
Whoa, look at that. Someone else. We do not have a commentary name yet. Every name we could come up with was like moderately inappropriate. So
yeah, it's not good.
Your PG commentary names for us in the comments. We are going to fly one lucky Patreon member and a friend out to Vermont for the 2023 PDGA Disc Golf World Championships. You'll stay on site at Smuggler's Notch so you can enjoy VIP access all week long, including premier access throughout the event. Meet and greet with players, VIP concierge servants, service, not servants, exclusive merch like Squatch Bag, and tons more. Check it out at JomezPro.com/VIP Worlds and the rest of it to learn more and see how to enter. Whew. Not scripted, I just memorized that. All right, we are at Glendoveer West. We're playing the West course twice. This is a 4-day event. It's a brand new course out here. Rebecca, you say something now.
All right, something, everybody. I love this course. It's beautiful out here.
It is.
I'm always excited to play in Oregon, and we should see some really good golf today.
Thanks, as always, to UDISC for the great stats. You help us sound slightly smarter and just keep killing it. We love you. Joining us on the feature card today is Paige Pierce, no stranger to feature cards and disc golf in general. She took off the last couple of Silver Series. I'm sure we're going to see her attack this big course.
Oh, and Scoggins, one of the best putters on tour, if not the best putter. She actually, I think, was in the top C1 percentage last year at this tournament, and probably at most tournaments she plays in. Excited to see her attack this course.
Kristin Tattar, she's back, folks. She was home for, I think, almost a month, and she is gonna, I'm sure, just shred this course as she always does. She's looking very professional and European as always.
And then we have Ella Hansen, one of the big crushers on tour, and I'm sure she can take a huge bite out of a lot of these holes out here.
Yeah, we've seen Ella on lead cards all year long. I'm sure she's hungry for that first win.
All right, hole 1. Par 4, 699 feet straight uphill. As you can see, we have OB on the left side of the fairway. We have that, not only that huge sand trap, but about 6 other huge OBs and hazards surrounding the basket. So players are going to be looking to bite off a lot of distance.
Yeah, definitely a lot of...
Welcome to the 2023 Portland Open presented by Latitude 64. We are here for the feature card of the FPO division at lovely Glendoveer Golf Course. Up first to tee, out of Pensacola, Florida. Put your hands together for Paige Pierce.
I think backhand turnover is the play to get the most distance. Maybe we'll see some safe sidearms.
Yeah, there's really low wind today, so the backhand turnover is really going to be the best shot you can get. Paige just putting one out there in the fairway.
Oh, as she does.
All she needs to do.
Next on the tee, representing Los Angeles, California, Scoggins.
Coming off of a Masters World, or the Tim Slunski Championship.
Yep, she just shreds in all divisions, it turns out.
That chesty sidearm that she always throws.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a destroyer. Got second at this.
Out of Parnu, Estonia. Put your hands together for Kristin Tattar.
Sorry, trying to let the announcer do his thing. Owen got second at this event last year to Valerie Mandujano. We're looking forward to Valerie come back at the Dynamic Disc Open in a couple weeks after her injury.
Kristin throwing a grace. And this is actually Kristin's first time at this event. She did not compete last year. She said she actually flew in on Monday and suffering from jet lag and just crushing it.
Noise for Ella Hansen.
Hey, I'm Ella Hansen. I am from Seattle, Washington, but I went to college in Eugene at University of Oregon. And that's actually where I started playing disc golf for the first time and really got a sense of like the Oregon disc golf life, really good community, and yeah, it's just beautiful out here. I love being in the Pacific Northwest. Anytime where there's, big evergreen trees, it really feels like I'm at home, and You know, this course, Glendoveer, has lots and lots of those, and I personally really like the course. I think they do a really good job of using the property to make something that is challenging, not repetitive. You know, definitely tests distance, but also requires gap hitting and also makes for a really great spectator experience. I feel like I'm really happy with how I've been playing overall. Really been settling in, I think, finding my sense of community really well on tour, which is really nice. I have a pretty good sense of how I want my routine to be each week. It brings a lot of good consistency, and I'm feeling really settled. My family's going to be coming down from Seattle to watch, so it's going to be really fun.
Always love those player highlights. Great to get a little peek into Ella's mind.
Yeah, nice to play an event that's close to home.
Definitely. Ella with a huge turnover of her own.
Such an effortless distance shot.
Yeah, she always makes it look really easy.
I think she's right there next to Paige, and she just did not look like she even threw it that hard.
Cashy. Oh, not quite as much distance, but it doesn't matter. She's got the flex. She's got the crowd love, the personality, the putting.
Yeah, the thing about Owen is that she knows her game. She knows her strengths, and she sticks to that. She doesn't try to say, oh, maybe I'll go for the big shot here. She's like, I'm just going to get the par.
And this is a hole, I think it played as the second most difficult hole today. It is not one you want to risk going for if you're not feeling absolutely confident. Rebecca pointed out there's 7 different little pockets of OB surrounding the green, all very close.
Yeah, the safest part of the green is probably going to be right past the basket to the right of it. Otherwise, if you don't feel like you can safely land there, you might as well just lay up.
You think there's at least 10 feet to land in over there? Wow, Kristin so far up here. That looks like a nice slower speed disc. And she's back. Yep, she's here. Look at her go.
Such a precise shot, and way to take advantage of having no wind.
Yeah.
And having it perfectly open.
Paige turning one over. There's slightly less danger on the right. She gets the green flag.
That's the mistake to make on that upshot.
Own the risky run here. There is that hazard right behind it.
Very nice. Yeah, nothing wrong with walking away with a par on this hole.
Paige finding that one tree in the way. She's going to be outside the circle for her par save. Ella from the hazard for par. She's going to have to take a bogey. See, Paige tied for 4th last year with Missy Gannon and Miss Rebecca Cox.
Oh, yes. Kristin's birdie putt.
There she goes.
Good to hit that first confident birdie putt. It's a great way to start the round. Oh, and it turns out that Kristin, Tattar, and Hannah Wynn were the only women to birdie this hole today.
Yeah, that's a good
Way
one.
to go, Hannah.
I'm curious if we'll see a few more tomorrow as we figure out this new course. We only had 3 days to learn these courses. The East course is the same as last year, but the West course is vastly different than what we saw 2 years ago.
And it's long.
Yeah. Hole 2 is a par 3, 327 feet. There is a mandatory on the right side. You can take the gap that the drone just flew, which is a very tight kind of flip-up backhand with a fairway driver or maybe a full-speed driver. You can also take this safer left side gap, which is more of a power sidearm. It's going towards the OB, but it's gonna fade towards the basket and away from that out of bounds line. So I think it's the smart play if you have that shot. Kristin puts it just outside the circle. That was a rive.
Yeah, if you can get easy distance with the forehand, that's definitely the shot on this hole. I feel like the wind was pretty low throughout the day, maybe a little swirly, but it's always like that slight wind that kind of makes you second guess. It's not something that was really affecting the discs a lot.
No, I mean, it was what, like 5 to 8 miles per hour, like nothing crazy.
That's a pretty good forehand from Paige.
Yeah, Paige, I feel like she doesn't go to it that often, but when she does, it's often very good. That was her ESP Zeus.
Wow, I was not expecting to see the whole card go to the left side.
Yeah. In FPO, you kind of have to have a forehand these days. Ella is a little nose up and catches the tree branches, but it should be pretty easy work to get the par.
She pulled the wide a little bit, but she's in the circle to save par.
Own for birdie, a little high.
I love her commitment.
Yeah, I love the focus in her eyes. Like, I want a motivational poster with Owen's face right before she putts in my van. She would.
Kristin.
Just 2 for 2 start. Let's see it again.
Just fierce, focused.
Beautiful straddle putt.
Oh, yeah. Stay in there.
And now she has it. Paige for a birdie. Nice. Just erase that first bogey mistake out there. I believe this is the longest course that we've played all year. I know I should have looked up exactly how far. It's in the 9,000 range. It's longer than OTB and Beaver State Fling, which were also both very long.
Solid putt from Ella. Oh, and of course, tapping in her par.
I feel like Owen's tap-in range is bigger than everyone else's tap-in range. And Kristin Tattar, perfect 2 through 2 start, along with Hannah Wynn.
Yeah, off to a strong start. Hole 3, 332 feet, par 3. Something I like to call the anti-lefty hole. This Mando forces the players to navigate the right side of this fairway where all these trees are to this elevated basket. And the challenge really is getting that distance. You can choose a high or a low. And there is an OB green and a sand trap that really don't come into play unless you throw it 100 feet long.
Yeah, not a problem for most of us. I think a lot of women with maybe slightly less distance try to go under those branches in kind of a low penetrating straight line. But there's also, like Rebecca said, kind of a wider line out and around. That's more of a power hyzer. Did Paige bounce off that stump?
I'm not sure.
Sick play. Regardless, Paige will be in circle 2.
Yeah, if you have the power, throwing it high like that and just letting it fall into the basket.
Do you have the power? Is that your line?
I tried, yeah. That's the line I'm going for on this hole. Can't always trust the low skip. You never know what the grass is going to do sometimes.
Yeah, the grass, I was telling Rebecca earlier, it's like beyond dew. It is just soaking wet out there. You do not get a whole lot of ground play. Looks like most of our ladies are going to be somewhere in circle 2. Kristin the farthest out, taking this forehand line.
Beautiful.
Bullseye.
Man.
1 inch low for Owen for her birdie bid.
Way out. Yeah, this stump is about 60 feet from the basket. So they're giving it a really long bid.
Yeah, gotta do it for the slow meds, you know? Paige, the closest, about 40-ish feet or so. She's gonna be high left. Looking like a bunch of pars for the card here. This played as the 13th most difficult hole, averaging just slightly over par. Yeah, it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah. Either get it or you don't.
Yeah.
You kind of just get out of there.
About 13% of the field birdied it, which is 6 players? 6. Yeah, 6. Little body English there from Own. Kristin and Hannah still leading the way through 3. Hole 4 is a par 4. It's only 485 feet. It's modified from 2 years ago where it used to be a par 5. You are laying up before the water, which is, what, like maybe 260 feet away or so. And then you are throwing across the pond to this teeny tiny little green in between the out-of-bounds golf green and the water on the right. The safest area to land is probably just past the basket because it kind of widens over there. You could throw like something short, that's slow speed, but you really need to throw it perfectly straight. I think one of the challenges is doing what Kristin did here. It's easy to short this shot because the landing zone is blind and then leave yourself too long of an upshot.
Yeah, there's also a bit of tricky footing. There's like a top landing zone and then a lower one, as you can see Paige landing. And I've seen a lot of people land on that little slope.
Yeah, it's very awkward for sure. Paige with her Tour Series Fierce, Kristin with her Harp in the lower landing zone. Own finding that as well. I don't feel confident saying that's a destroyer, but I would not be surprised.
It looked like a driver.
Right? Classic. Ella with a C-line P2. We're just not going to see anyone drive the green on this hole. It's not worth it. How far do you think it is to clear the water from the sea?
I shot it, I think it's about like 415, 400.
I was going to say
and that's
definitely.
like at the very first safe spot by that sand trap.
And not a whole lot of safe spots to be found. Ella taking that same disc, it looks like, and laying up safe. She'll have a putt for birdie. Mini flex.
This looks like another Harp.
Yeah, got to. Kristin leaves this out wide. She's trusting the fade.
Oh, man.
Yeah, not quite enough. We'll see where they give her the spot. She might be somewhere around the circle for a par save. Paige with a perfect Crystal Fierce upshot. She's been so dialed with her Fierce upshots all year long. I'd love to see a statistic of like how many times the Fierce lands in the bullseye.
Own throwing it wide as well. I was really not expecting that.
No, I don't know where that, like if or where that crossed either.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't. Dang, that is brutal. Sit. Nice shot, Own. Tough recovery shot from all the way still on the short side.
Yeah,
Oh,
I like
Kristin too.
Man.
Dang, you don't usually see that. Usually, more people go OB, I think, on the green just so you can take it up there.
That looked like another Harp that she threw. I'm not sure if she has like 4 of them in there. It's smart though.
Yeah, she definitely loves that disc. Ella for birdie. A little undercommitted.
That is a little bit of a shaky birdie putt right there
Yeah.
because as you can see, that slope is very intense.
That's kind of where we see, I think, Ella have her nerves, is like the slightly shorter putts. Dang, Paige also not converting on the birdie. I think we'll see some corrections on this hole tomorrow.
I love how with Own, you never see a putt from Own where you're like, wow, she gave up on that.
Or like, undercommitted. No. Full commitment every time.
Yeah, I like this hole because it kind of forces like the big arms to control their distance a little bit.
You guys could just control yourselves, please.
Relax. Throw a controlled shot.
Yeah, add some variety to a lot of the long bombs we're seeing off the tee for sure. A good percentage birdied that hole, 17%. below, 52% par, and 31% above par.
Hole 5, 375 feet, par 3. There's a mando to the right, which takes the big hyzer completely out. You're trying to shape a shot over that hill to that downhill basket. That wood line is about 320 feet from the tee pad on the left, so the challenge is to throw it high enough so that you can get it through that gap without it fading too far to the left.
It's a tricky, oh man, Paige super low and early. She gets some distance with the skips, but this is a really tricky shot, I think, to get all the way to the pin. You really have to have a disc hold that turn for a long time, and a lot of us are throwing distance drivers versus Ella here going MD1, so it's a little bit easier to get that mid-range to hold. I think she's in circle 2, can't quite tell. Pretty. Kristin with her gold line St. Pro.
Got
Still
kicked off
short.
to the right a little bit, but she made the mando. She has a wide open up shot now.
Right, no problem with that.
Yeah, this is kind of like a bonus.
Yeah,
Very
I would call
tweenery.
this I mean, it's definitely a par 3. It's just a hard par 3.
Yeah.
Or hard to park. It would be interesting if it didn't have the mando. Like, would it be too easy? You know? Owen kind of burned her forehand pretty early. She's still got
Oh, that needs to sit down a little bit.
almost 200 feet.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah. No, she's fine.
It's just that hill slope. Yeah, that hill slopes so much that this naturally just rolls.
Yeah, I think it catches the backhand a little bit better. The forehand tends to skip down the hill.
Yeah, you almost want to aim a little more to the left than you usually do, just so you can have that ground play towards the basket.
Paige was left with that almost throw, almost putt range that I find so difficult. Like, just pick one and do it, but I think your brain never actually decides. Ella with the best look at it here just decides to lay up for par. Boo. Just kidding.
Smart golf is good golf out here. It's like a mix of really long holes and sprinkled in some tougher little tighter holes. Keeps you on your toes.
It does.
Paige with the unexpected miss right there.
Yeah, she did leave it a little short on that approach.
Oh, no. Always with a smile on her face.
Yeah, she's close. She's not missing him by much. Paige second bogey of the round. She's 1 over.
Yeah, staying clean through this course is going to be key, I think. Because there's just not a ton of opportunities for birdies.
No, there's not.
And there's plenty of opportunities to get off the fairway and be short.
Even par, or just a couple under is going to be a great round. Bogey free is going to feel amazing if anyone can pull that off. Gonna win, leading the way. 3 down through 5. Holland Hanley 2 down through 5. Kristin Tattar is tied with Kat Murch, Katrina Allen, and Stacey Ronsley at 1 down. Hole 6, par 5. Whew, get ready. There is a gap off the tee you need to hit. You want to get, I guess, a little bit farther right, but it doesn't really matter as long as you're not right behind that tree line left. And then you just throw up the hill as hard as you can, probably twice, maybe 3 times. This out of bounds line kind of starts in that weird rectangle area and leads up to a mandatory tree. And that OB definitely comes into play on your final approach shot. The tee shot obviously sets the tone of the hole. If you kick on the right side of one of these trees, there is some hazards and OB you can find if you kick too far to the left. That's a great rip from Ella. It's her swirly S-line, Cloudbreaker.
Yeah, you really want to power one straight through these trees right off the bat. Great shot from Kristin.
Yeah, those are 2 perfect shots. That was Kristin Tattar's signature Grand Orbit Grace. She doesn't look very impressed with herself.
Paige trying to get that full flight. Pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I would take it, I guess. Oh, interesting. Own going forehand, super flexy.
She can really get over on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's her play. And it works out fine. Own definitely playing this one for par, though, at that distance. It'll be interesting to see if some of the elite throwers can get looks at this for birdie. It plays so far with that uphill, and then as we just saw from Own, the ground is still wet. It's hard to feel confident in your footing, especially as you start to land on the hill. The run-ups get kind of tough.
Yeah, they're just throwing straight uphill at this point.
Great power from Kristin. She's kind of headed towards that right side, which is totally fine. I kind of like being a little bit more left on the hill. I think it makes the approach a little easier, so you're not as tight on the OB and the Mando. Paige just chucking one up the hill.
Yeah, distance-wise, this hill isn't really that far, but it's just so far uphill. It requires so much more power.
Yeah, and nose angle control too. You end up throwing so nose up, it's hard to progress, a good way forward.
It's interesting that she chose the forehand for that shot, but she must trust being able to put a lot of power on it.
Yeah, I think so. Own's one of those ones, like Own, Jessica Weiss. There's one more who, you never really know. Forehand, backhand. Could go either way. Kristin makes it to the top of the hill nicely, maybe even into circle 2 on her third shot. Oh, Paige is way up here.
That makes the Mando. I think she's past it.
I think she's just past it. And it looks like she's putting for birdie. That's awesome. Ella choosing the forehand. That tree, there it is. Yep, there's the mandatory right off frame. So I think the forehand's a really smart play. Ella doesn't have a birdie yet, but it looks like she's going to get one. Great shot. Wow. Is that an ad for Ella's new signature disc? The mossy trees and everything are so pretty out here.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous view on every hole. Mm-hmm. Own that's really all she wanted on this hole. Perfect.
Yeah. Did she throw all forehands? Because that's kind of crazy.
I think the second shot was a backhand.
Okay, all right.
That was it.
Well, now I'm less impressed with her par. Paige with a really solid bid. It looks like she almost missed that mandatory. Close. Yeah. Kristin from something like 60?
Oh, yeah. A tap-in par on this hole is not bad. Tap-in birdie's even better. And Ella was the only one to birdie that hole.
Yeah.
For the whole day.
Uh-huh. It's the third most difficult hole. 44% of the field above par. Played very difficult for the ladies today. Congrats, Ella. That's sweet. Tap-in birdie, too. Moves Ella up to a tie for 7th.
And playing solid.
Yeah. How much would you pay for a 3 down through 6 start?
So much. Hole 7, 360 feet, par3 with a blind basket downhill. That tree that you see to the right of it is pretty much the only thing you can see. And there's 2 sand traps that are within circle 2 of the basket. And with the slope of that hill going from right to left downhill, it's really tricky with the putting.
I haven't seen this forehand play. Have you?
I've also not seen it.
Because there's so much stuff over there. Ella goes low under the branches through a gap, rides the edge and almost perfect. Man, that was right on line to park it. What a creative
it's a harder
line.
to hit too.
But then you're coming into the green at the right angle away from the sand traps versus we'll see if Kristin fading before that tree. Yeah, she's probably going to go right into it.
Yeah, if you're going to go the straight backhand line, you really want to push the distance.
Yeah, you want to hang it out, I think, to the right a little bit more. Kind of like Paige is doing here, and then trust the fade late. That's probably going to be deep, though.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, just outside the circle for Paige, coming back uphill. Not a ton of danger from the hazard, just some roll-away potential. That was Paige's Big Z crush.
And Own threw it a little low, but it's still
Oh, it's great.
managed to get all the way there.
Yeah, Own. Looks like a bullseye hit, or nearly.
Great shot.
Uh-huh. It's so weird because you throw it, and then you're like, I think that's good.
Yeah.
But who knows? Paige not super happy with her birdie bid. Here's Kristin trying to save par from the hazard bunker. I feel like you don't usually see that much expression like
Yeah.
that from Kristin. She just goes, ugh.
When it doesn't go in.
Yeah.
Disgust. Great par save from Ella.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see that line again from her or anyone. Own on the board, first birdie of the day.
Kristin with another bogey. Love to see it. And a win holding on to that lead.
This
Is
the new
up to ice orbit. Look,
at this
very nice thing.
tingling.
Hole 8 is a par 4, 725 feet. This one is so fun to just rip a huge shot downhill. You do want to stay slightly on the right side or the middle. There is a mandatory tree on the left that we pass. We are going to the longer basket. The men play this as a shorter par 3. At 725, especially with how downhill it is, this one is birdieable by everyone in the field. It does not feel great to miss this one, and there's not a whole lot of holes out here like that.
Yeah, this is one of those holes that you want to take advantage of. I mean, practically no wind. I think there's a little bit of a headwind.
Yeah, but pretty minimal. Own ending up on the left, which isn't bad over there, just kind of forces a little bit more of a hyzer versus if you're out right like Ella, even though that is really far right, you have a few more options of how to get to the pin. How far is that? That's
It is
wild.
massively far. And I played with Jen Allen today, and she said she wants to land by that tree because
Wow.
it's great over there.
Well, okay, so the men's basket is like 630 feet, I think, just past those trees. So Ella probably just threw, 550 downhill? Paige looking pretty similar. Say 5 bills, maybe? Kristin just throwing a Grand Glory, so taking a little bit slower speed disc. That was the last hole. Kristin throwing a KT Signature Grand Orbit Grace, which makes so much more sense for what this shot is. I can read. Kristin up first. You don't see that very often.
Right?
Yeah, I like the outside play. If you have it, take that big tree out of play. Just put it in the bullseye. No problem.
Especially in that headwind, the hyzer's the way to go.
Man, Ella's so close. She's like right next to that tree. It's crazy.
Skip into there. Ugh. You land by the one only thing that's
Yeah.
in the way.
I know you. Whoa, Paige throwing so fast. We barely caught it.
It's probably her fierce again.
Yeah, it's definitely her fierce. Just outside the bullseye, though. So really disappointing, honestly.
Yeah, like Erika said, this is one everyone's looking to get. It's very birdieable.
leaves it low. Great putt from Paige. Good conversion. Gonna get herself back to even par.
Own.
Oh, man. I can't think of the last time I've seen Own miss a putt so short. Surprising.
Yeah, and it was just a tickle to the right, too.
Kristin with the bag on birdie to get back under par. Secret handshake. Hannah hanging on 3 down through 8. Cap Merch, Katrina Allen, Stacy Ronsley, Holland Finley, Holly Finley, Holland Hanley, all 2 down. That sounded like a tongue twister.
Hole 9, 300 feet, par 3. We have a double mando right off the bat, and this little fat tree on the left can kind of get in the line a little bit, but the basket is obviously very reachable. It's just about hitting that line. There's an OB line all across the right side of the fairway.
Sounds like you have something personal against that tree on the left. Did something happen?
I barely missed it.
It is definitely in the line. This is a very tight, tricky line. Paige leaves it short left of that tree, and I'm not even sure. She might be in circle 2.
Yeah, the hyzer flip up requires that you use a little bit more of the fairway. And that tree is right smack dab in the middle.
Kristin, I don't think quite getting all the way there either. This is such a tough one to get inside the circle. Such a tight line. Own going forehand.
Yeah, she
why
took
not?
the left sideline.
That's awesome. I mean, I think it's more open on that side,
It really
honestly.
is if you're able to hit that initial Anheuser angle and just trust the disc.
Yep, Own is great at both of those things. Ooh.
Oh, huge misfire from Ella.
Yeah, that one hurts.
I think that was OB. I don't think she missed the mando.
I think she did miss the mando.
Did she go forward enough? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so she's just going from, this little drop zone for the miss mandatory. Definitely not a gimme to save the bogey. It's a little short, and
Pulled
I
it
think
right a little bit again. I don't know if that's just something she's dealing with now. 'Cause she pulled it right on 8 as well.
Yeah, we'll see if she can dial it back in. Paige with a little fierce upshot just outside the bullseye.
Kristin kind of just tossing it up there.
Yeah, seeing what happens,
I love how she's like, okay, I'm not going to get the birdie. All right, I'll just pitch up for the par. I'm not trying to be too cute with anything.
Oh, man. Being cute is like my favorite thing out there. Like, I could give this a soft bid.
And bogey.
Hey, you don't know. You weren't there.
All right, Own.
Highlight birdie, honestly. And that gets her to even par. Only 6 people got the birdie today. It's the 10th most difficult hole, so right in the middle of the pack. Ella with that double bogey, that really hurts finishing up the front 9. I personally think there's a couple more birdies on the back.
Yeah.
Like maybe two slightly easier ones. That's the ones I'm thinking about, dreaming about birdies,
Yeah, but so far the scores are really close together.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be kind of tight,
Yeah, so everyone under par through about the top 10 to 12 or so. And yeah, as you say, there's a tie, a 5-way tie at even. Looks like a huge tie at +1. A lot of golf left, a lot of strokes still to go. Hopefully some of them are really exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be.
Please join us on the back 9. Thank you for joining us and replacing Madison. Not forever, don't worry. Go ahead and panic though, and give me your wildest theory of why she's not here in the comments. I would love to just hear some crazy stuff. Thank you to the Founders Club, and see you on the back 9. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
And I'm Rebecca Cox.